taking you backstage here, an all-access pass, before I put on my Arnold Schwarzenegger costume. We're going to do a skit today, dramatizing our belief that UTLA needs to work with other unions and other community groups to demand that there be no cuts to any services, to demand that that any revenue comes from taxing millionaires and billionaires and corporations in the state and closing loopholes in Prop 13, and to really put forth an agenda that we all work together. So you're going to see lots of people from a lot of different unions and different community groups coming together and co-sponsoring today's event.
I think that unions in general support the working class America that is such a vital institution as to the future of America. And even though each union and each group has a different type of service that they provide to the community, without those services, I think that America wouldn't be the same place. And I really think that's the backbone of America, and that's what it's all about.
We say cut back! We say fight back! We say cut back! We say fight back! They say cut back! We say fight back!
I'm just out here supporting the Screen Actors Guild and all the unions in Los Angeles because we do need to stick together and have solidarity.
This morning, working folks from actors to home care workers to longshoremen began a 3-day walk to fight for over 350,000 quality jobs and to demonstrate the solidarity of working people everywhere. They stand for each other, we stand with them, and together here we stand together! As we fight for good jobs, we also fight for a fair budget, because we're all in this together, and together we're stronger!
So we're talking about budget cuts. Governor Schwarzenegger's proposed cuts to services and some of the ways those cuts can be avoided. Now, given we live in Los Angeles, the home of the movies, we thought we'd try to describe the current fiscal situation in cinematic terms. Now, first off, we need a protagonist. Governor? Now, wait a second. I said a protagonist, not our antagonist. At least not yet. Let's see how the story ends. That's called suspense. So now that we have a protagonist, and that protagonist needs a goal. Now, what does the governor want? Well, he wants to close a budget gap. And how exactly is he going to do that? Well, Governor Schwarzenegger is currently proposing ill-conceived cuts to essential services. Services such as education. Governor Schwarzenegger proposes nearly $5 billion worth of cuts to spending guaranteed by propositions. Wait! Hold it, Governor, hold it! Now this is what we call dramatic tension. In other words, our protagonist is presented with a choice. There are alternatives to slashing essential services. The funds do exist. We simply have to determine how best to access them. For example, well, we can close tax loopholes to unfairly benefit the rich. One would think that if the rich can afford yachts, they can afford to pay fair taxes on them, right? Now, what do we think of the governor's proposal to cut funds for education? And what do we think of the governor closing tax loopholes for the rich? Okay, now Governor Schwarzenegger also proposes to cut over $1 billion worth of Medi-Cal spending. Do we want that? What do we think of the governor's proposal to cut funding for health care? Wait, Governor. Thankfully, we don't have to do that. And when residential properties are bought and sold, their values are reassessed and they're taxed at a higher rate. Yet, the same cannot be said for commercial properties, for the laws permit the owners of those properties to buy and sell them without the values being reassessed. As a result, many commercial properties are taxed at rates that are decades old. So what do we think? Do we think the owners of commercial property should pay their fair share of taxes? Governor Schwarzenegger also proposes cuts that result in state parks closing and lifeguard positions being eliminated. We wouldn't be able no longer to go to parks. They'll be closed and unable to go to beaches because they'd be unsafe. What do we think of the governor's proposal to cut funding to public parks and beaches? Wait, Governor, there is an alternative. And other states tax oil as it comes out of the ground, for that prevents oil companies from getting rich and paying their fair share of taxes. What do we think about taxing California's oil as it comes out of the ground? Well, Governor, and ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. An authentic Hollywood ending. How realistic is it? Well, that depends on you.
Recall Arnold!
Well, what do you say we send a clear message to the governor right now? Are you with me? No cuts! 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 Hey, no cuts!
The way we're going to stop this is not by having a clever union leader or an eloquent politician make a persuasive argument to turn this around. That's not going to work this time. The only thing that's going to work is mobilizing our members and mobilizing our communities around California. And what we can do as teachers is to get out, talk to parents, participate in informational picketing. When we do leafleting of parents, we need all of our members out on the streets communicating these concerns. This has got to be a bottom-up effort, and we've got to stand strong. Otherwise, we're going to lose some of our most dynamic teachers, and that's not acceptable. And we know that the only way to turn this around is if all the affected communities stand together, united, and fight together to turn around what is unacceptable for the people of California.
This state budget crisis is no joke. While a lot of us in UTLA, because they haven't put out any layoff notices to UTLA members, we've been kind of feeling like, a lot of members have been feeling like maybe we dodged the bullet. The fact is, this is going to be a real serious fight that we got on our hands here. And this is going to be a long-term struggle. And we need to get out in front of this. We need to put pressure on our school district to cut from the bureaucracy. But we also have to go upstate a little bit, up to Sacramento, because that's really where the funding comes from. And we have to demand that that this game of socialism for the rich and capitalism for the poor, where the rich corporations and the millionaires, they get tax breaks during the good years, but then when the bad years come, they want to balance the budgets on our backs and the backs of our students, that we stand up and we fight that. We have there's concern here that this is the way this is being played out. There's definitely going to be a fight on our hands to keep our jobs and to keep class sizes low. So that's why it's urgent that all UTLA members really start engaging in this fight.